Good morning, everyone. Ben here, and today we are updating our Senate election map. And there are only 3 states where anything really changed due to new polls that I've seen come up. That's North Dakota, Tennessee, and Florida. And when I say they change things, it's more that it gives me a little bit greater confidence. And well, let's go to Florida first because we're doing this alphabetically. I haven't seen this poll yet that was administered from kind of mid-June to the first couple of days in July. And that also shows Rick Scott ahead. Now, that said, SurveyMonkey Axios tends to favor the Republican a little bit more, but I'm not sure it's the full 3 percentage points more. YouGov tends to be biased towards the Democrats from what I've found, but I'm not sure that matters considering both of their polls, registered voters or likely voters, indicates a Republican advantage or a Rick Scott advantage. Marist tends to be biased towards the Democrats, but I don't think it's enough to overcome 4%. This is an internal poll, so we'll ignore it, but notice it's only 2%. Gravis Marketing showed a 10%, but that one is very strange because it's a massive, massive outlier, even for that period of time, even for that polling area, it's a massive outlier. Because every other poll in that period indicates that there's a Republican advantage, and an advantage towards Rick Scott, 3%, 6%, 1%, this one pretty much non-existent, but it's still an advantage, and 4%. And everything after shows either a very narrow Bill Nelson lead or a Rick Scott lead. So I'm a little more confident in saying this race leans towards Rick Scott, but not enough to say it's likely that he'll win because we're still a long ways out, and that's the main reason. North Dakota, I'm getting a little more confident that Kevin Cramer is going to win. Again, this is a SurveyMonkey Axios poll, but it's also a 5% margin with Cramer above 50. So I think it's safe to say this is now a leans Republican race. Tennessee, we have no clue what's going on. Let's be honest here. Ignoring the internal poll, which only showed a 3% advantage for Phil Bredesen, there's a SurveyMonkey Axios poll that showed Marsha Blackburn with a 14% advantage. I'm a little skeptical it's that large, especially considering every other poll has it reasonably close. That's 5%, even going back to 2017, that's 5%, that's 2%. This is a bit of an outlier, but it's also an internal poll. So let's only look at the nonpartisan polls. 2%. That one's 11, but that's a little bit weird. Internal. Middle Tennessee, this is nonpartisan. That's a 10% advantage for Bredesen. Internal, Mason-Dixon, that's 3%. That's 1%. That's 3%. Oh yeah, that's an internal poll, so ignore that one. That's 14%. And this one is a little more in line, showing a 6% gap, but we don't know when it was administered. So it could have been administered way back in the early part of this year, or it could have, it's more than likely it was just this past month, but we don't actually know. So I'm continuing to call this a toss-up, but I don't know what to call this. So for the time being, I'm gonna lean this one to Bredesen, even though I consider it a true toss-up, just because he's had a more consistent polling advantage, and it's a Democrat wave year. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. By the way, this is what the map would look like according to my predictions. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a nice day. Take it easy. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.